People are accusing Lisa of lip-syncing at the Oscars. We need to talk about that. We also have a post trending surrounding Bang PD and BTS, and then we actually have Ariana Grande addressing Lisa at the Oscars. And of course, you'll see the timestamps below, so feel free to skip to whatever story you're interested in. So hey dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Let's get into it. One of the first and most heartwarming things that people were talking about was, of course, what was going on with Bang PD. And a recent post that he made, apparently he hadn't made a post in about 6 months or several months, and one of the most recent posts that he just made was one talking about how much he appreciates BTS. If you're unaware, J-Hope recently is on tour, and so Bang PD made sure to address the tour and talk about how much he is proud of J-Hope. I don't think people understand how big of a deal this is and how amazing it is, because CEOs can definitely go and see a show, especially if they want to check out how that particular member is doing. However, most of the time CEOs or board members or whoever don't really have that much time to oversee concerts. Best case scenario, you'll have one that is more involved and will maybe stick around for the first show or the rehearsal to kind of make sure that there's no kinks, and other than that, they won't really stick around. Now, as far as I'm aware, I don't believe that this is the first show that J-Hope did, and so I believe that Bang PD actually flew out or made a trip out to see J-Hope, and so obviously there's a lot of effort in him being there. And a lot of people were extremely excited about that because it really shows that Bang PD has not forgotten who has gotten him to where he is, and he still loves and supports each of the members. Other people were using this as an example to say that it's clear that he loves all of the BTS members, and all of the people who object to this are just haters. Of course, if you're not aware, the idea of Bang PD hating the BTS members is not something that is entirely new. People think this all the time because they think that he is not supporting the BTS members or helping them and has caused some of them to get hate. This comes from this idea where people don't really know what it is that a CEO can do and what a company has the power to do. They assume that if there's written press and it's negative about the BTS members, that it's the CEO or the company not really pulling their weight and helping the members. But the bottom line is you cannot delete or get rid of all negative press. That's going to happen whether you have the best teams in the world. One person wrote a tweet saying that they don't really care that Bang PD supports J-Hope, but that they only care about Suga. But what irks me about this post is that they wrote "we" as in multiple people, as in the entire community. And while there could be a few people who might agree with this, the majority of the community, I'm sure, is in the same boat as I am, which is that they're happy that Bang PD supports the group as a whole and definitely is not isolating one member and saying that that is the reason why they hate Bang PD. Would you, by the way, the accusations of people saying that Bang PD or the label hates Suga is absolutely nonsense too. In fact, I don't really even know what those speculations or rumors are because they don't make any sense. Now, changing gears a little bit here, we need to talk about Lisa at the Oscars. This is so beyond a big deal. It is such an incredible feat for a once K-pop star to achieve something like this. Now, I believe that she is still considered a K-pop star, but a lot of people like to say that she is no longer one and she has reached pop stardom. And one of the reasons why I also prefer to use K-pop star because it matters a little bit more. Not to say that it doesn't matter when someone performs at the Oscars, but it matters a little bit more because Asians have more representation now in American media. A quick Google search would tell you that she would be the first ever K-pop star to have performed at the Oscars. And so if you consider her not a K-pop star anymore, then she's not the first K-pop star to perform at the Oscars. She's just another pop star that has performed. And of course, I believe she is the first K-pop star to perform there because that is literally what's going on. But also that paves the way for other Asian stars to have a way in American entertainment. So I'm very curious what the general consensus of this is. And of course, if you believe she's a K-pop star or not, please let me know. Now, every single female idol will get a lot more hate than male idols do. In American pop, when we see hate towards a woman or a female celebrity, it can kind of be swept under the rug a little bit because a lot of people can simply say, well, those are just coincidences. However, in K-pop, it's not just coincidence. The hate between male and female idols is night and day. In fact, some K-pop haters will literally say that they hate someone because they are a woman. They will straight up just admit that. But also using terms like slut or whore is another example of them just hating a woman because she's a woman, right? And so when Lisa appeared on stage and did her performance, there was a lot of speculation on whether or not she was lip syncing throughout her performance, because apparently they think women can't sing, right? A lot of Western media, I think, maybe believes that K-pop stars often lip sync, and I don't know exactly where this comes from because it is a scandal in Korea for artists to do so. So most artists in K-pop are not doing that. However, this could be a practice that they used to do before my K-pop days, and I'm just unaware of that. So a lot of American media is just still remembering those days and kind of bringing it up into modern day. And that is perhaps a reason why it is a scandal in Korea to lip sync, because they want to get away from that stereotype. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I have no idea if it's true or not. However, a lot of people were fighting back to say that Lisa obviously was not lip syncing, because when you're in a huge Western media thing like the Oscars, they would not allow people to lip sync during their performance. I did a quick little bit of a Google search, and I did find out that the Academy highly frowns upon lip syncing. So it is strongly encouraged that the artists sing live. However, it's also believed that lip syncing can occur if there's technical issues, but there is no well-documented case of that. So people are definitely correct that someone who is performing at the Oscars would not be lip syncing during the performance. But also, you can hear her breathing during her performance. It definitely sounds live. You can hear the echo, and that's likely coming from the fact that when she is singing, the audio is being projected by the speakers. Those speakers sound is bouncing off the walls and then going back into her microphone, and that is how we can tell that it's live. It also doesn't quite sound like the original because the music is slightly louder than the original. There's also no original with Lisa singing because Live and Let Die is not her song, so I just don't believe that she participated in lip syncing at all. And I don't really know if she actually has ever done so. There were people saying that it seemed like she was exposed, or that you can obviously tell that she was lip syncing and she's likely going to get banned or have some sort of repercussion. But even if she did lip sync, I don't think she would get banned. It's just something that's frowned upon. They likely would not do that, and furthermore, she did not do any of those things. So there's no need to even have that concern, right? I also don't see a huge issue when an artist lip syncs. I mean, if you're at a paid concert, I can see that being kind of annoying or something that's not great. But when you're at something like the Oscars, where there's no one who's really being paid to be there, and it's televised to a lot of people, you want to sound the best that you can. I don't really see a huge issue in lip syncing. And overall, I want to say that I'm very just proud of this performance and of the thing in general. There was a photo where you can see Lisa praying before a performance, and she prays before all her performances. But I think that that particular photo is so haunting, while she's likely just treating this as like any other performance that she's done to the viewer and to the world. It's really paving the way for Asian music in America, and it would make a lot of sense that she would want to pray for something like that, because she wants to make sure that it goes really well and that she doesn't mess up. Because when you're the first at doing anything, and especially first in such a huge and well-documented, highly viewed event, you definitely want to make sure that you are good, because you're going to be looked back upon as the first. You're also going to be used as an example as to why other Asian stars should be allowed to perform there. However, of course, she did kill it, and clearly I think a lot of people in the room knew how big of a deal this was for her and the rest of Asian culture. We even saw Ariana Grande stand up and clap, which a lot of people were saying was a response to Lisa being there and was her way of showing support to Lisa. And I have no doubt that Ariana Grande knows who Lisa is, as well as who Blackpink is, and is a fan, so of course she definitely knows how big of a deal it is for Lisa to be there in general. And I'm really glad that she's getting the attention that she deserves, and she's really making headway here in America, Lisa, because it's definitely not easy, but it really feels like there is someone behind her that's really pushing her right now, because I'm starting to see her everywhere, and I know there's a lot of people that are starting to see her everywhere too, and that makes me really excited to see what the future of music holds. Now, of course, the music that's being pushed is not K-pop or Korean music, because it's all in English, but it's still very exciting to see the American audience be accepting of Asian faces, which is all very exciting. Let me know what you think. Make sure to check out Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thank you, so leave a comment right here. Love you, bye.